Good evening, race fans, and welcome along. It's Wednesday night, it's SOP, it's the GT2 and GT3 Sprint Cup 2024. After Paul Ricard, the Red Bull Ring, and my beloved Spa, we are here this evening for a night race at Bathurst. And oh yes, it is wet. You better believe this is going to be action-packed from start to finish, just like the rest of the season has been. My name, John Wright, aka Double O Raven. I've got Simon Baggett joining me in the commentary box this evening. He will be here momentarily. Of course, he will be on his usual live stewarding duties for the start of the race. And then he will be joining me in the commentary box. The GT3s have already been out. They've got their qualifying done and dusted. We'll get a proper look at that in a moment. First though, let's have a look at the standings as they stand at the moment. No apologies for the pun. In the silvers, it is Valentino Miri with 74 points leading the way. Timo Guertz in second. Nelson Pinto in third place, with Taylor Brady, Morten De Buren and Klaus Christensen making up fourth through sixth place. Chris Fielder in seventh place on 40 points, only a point behind Christensen. And Aristo Zachev, two seventh places so far this season, see him on 26. Stefano Giannone, two ninths, and Michael Firth no longer in the season, but Daniel Volkov in 11th position on 9 points. In the pros, in the GT3 cars, it is Dan all-conquering Watts. 3 trips to the podium, 2 of them on the top spot. See him a majestic 8 points ahead of Andrei Porshikov. Ivan Trubetskov in third place with Louis Zelch in fourth. And Samuel Brakstad rounding out the top 5. 3 drivers on the same points, and they're only a point ahead of Rob Kieser. Julian Van Bruff 8 points behind himself, so a bit of drift in this gap, but you can certainly see that close as the 3 ahead scrap for the points. Mario Dido in 8th, Angelo Zarala in 9th place, and it is Simchik rounding out the top 10, although I don't think he's in the championship anymore. And in the GT2s, who are out on track at the moment, it is Busek who has taken the lead. Back-to-back wins in the Merc. See him ahead of Christoph Verstappen in second. Paul Sidlowski in third place, the lead RTO driver in the GT2s, with Joe Boyle in second place. Joe, of course, not able to make the first round, but a second and third for Paul, fourth and second for Joe. It's going to be a close battle between these two, and I am here for it. We've got Michael Rode in 5th, James Rollins in 6th place on 33, Patrick Toman and Luca Monroe only separated by 4 points. Monroe only 2 ahead of Matthew Miziak in 9th, Thorsten Malsherek in rounding out the top 10 in the GT2s. Harry Howard, will be promoted to 11th. But did pick up a penalty, some penalty points from round number 1. So not quite on the fullest total, but he will take 11th, potentially even 10th this evening. The cars are still out in the qualifying, throes of qualifying. Christopher Streppen, one of the favourites in the GT3s. Julian Van Bruff in the GT2, Van Bruff in the lead at the moment. We can bring up the timetable. I'm going to do this one the hard way, thanks to HDR being a bit of a pain. Dan Watts finds himself at the top of the timing towers. The track getting slightly damper as the qualifying session has progressed. Verstappen the lead GT2 at the minute. On the second row of the grid, Butek, his championship rival, taking a purple sector as well. So the GT2 is quicker in sector 1 and 3. Watts getting it done in sector 2 though. It just goes to show you how quick the GT3s are over the mountain compared to the GT2s. The GT2s clearly making it up along the straights. Sidlowski is sitting in third place for the GT2s, with Timo Guertz in fourth. Porsugov in the GT3s, he's only half a second behind Watts and a tenth behind Van Bruff. Watts with a clear 4/10 gap over the rest of the GT3s, not too bad at all. Zelch separating Verstappen and Busek at the moment, and Klaus Christensen in the Lexus. It's got some top end speed, and he's got himself a top time there. Starting in the fifth position in the GT3s, with Valentino Miri behind them in sixth place. Then it is Brackstad, and in fact Zelch, my apologies, slightly underselling his efforts. He is, of course, so he's the lead pro. Christensen is in the silvers with Valentino Miri. There goes Paul Sidlowski taking a purple sector as well. So it is heating up. Let's get some close-up of the action, and we'll get a proper look once. There is Verstappen there, and he is moving very quick. Oh, and he's lost it. Oh wow, he was aiming for a front row. Yeah, he was definitely in for a front row there. That was looking to be a very quick time indeed. Hopefully. Nope, we're going to just have to suffer this one, I'm afraid. But that's qualifying done. Hey, there's Simon back again, and I'm going to have to make that flicker again. Let me just switch on your microphone, because I forgot to do that at the start. Boom, boom, boom. There he is, joining us as promised. It is one Mr. Simon Baggas, who is, I'd imagine, not too popular with quite a few drivers this evening. Night race at Bathurst in the wet, Simon. How do you plead?
Guilty as charged. As soon as drivers entered the practice circuit for the first time, I just had hundreds of messages saying, "What are you doing to us?"
Oh, fun time.
Actually, it's the exact same race time settings as last week, but obviously due to it being a different part of the world, the sun sets at a different time, and they're racing in complete darkness here at Bathurst. And obviously, just to add to that, they've got to do it in the rain. So, actually, I'd rather say, from experience, racing Bathurst in the rain is actually safer than racing Bathurst in the dry, because you're going slower.
Okay, I mean, I can understand
there
is. Yeah, there's method to that madness, Simon. There's method to that madness.
Rain, right? It's not heavy rain. So, I mean,
don't let the lack of grip put you off.
It's going to be interesting, actually. I don't know whether you can jump on a free camera, John, and see. Although it doesn't matter. The weather intensity has just increased quite significantly, so they are all going to be on wet tyres. Forget I was going to mention it's going to be a gamble to see who runs dry or wet tyres, because they were actually complaining in those damp conditions that wet tyres were overheating and the dry tyres weren't getting enough temperature, and the race laps were pretty similar. But yeah, that's been thrown out the window right now, hasn't it?
Firmly. By the scruff of the neck, I really need to stop gulping down tea.
I will say, I can imagine Verstappen from P4 on the grid could be leading this one after turn number 2. He's going to have that slipstream down that first straight. He could get the lead before they hit turn 4 and have to ascend the mountain.
Yeah, possibility, yeah. It definitely is. And I tell you who else could be in with a shout for that one. Klaus Christensen leading the way in the silvers, 5 thousandths ahead of Valentino Miri there. That Lexus is quick in a straight line as well, as quite a few people have pointed out. It really does move. No Ferraris in the silver, so we're out. Fielder in third, Buren in fourth, Brady fifth, Gwert in sixth, Pinto and Zachev at seventh and eighth. It'll be interesting to see what they can do. As we saw in the pros, it's Watts, Van Bruff, Porshikov and then Zelch first through fourth. Then it's Brackstad in fifth position. And in the GT2s, Verstappen, give me the times back please. There we go. Almost 7 tenths quicker than Busek with Sadlowski in third. Sadlowski 9 tenths off of the pole time for the GT2s, but still took a purple sector overall in qualifying. It's quick. Rollins, Monroe, Malczarek 4th, 5th and 6th with Toman in 7th, Partez in 8th, Miziak Mruzek, who is new to the series, in 10th. Romano, Pillay and Boyle not setting times?
Yeah, I'm surprised by that one. Yeah, I'm not sure why those three never set times in qualifying. Romano did show some good turn of speed at the last round before he got disconnected. And I think Joe Boyle finished one place off the podium, right?
Yes, he did.
So, watch Romano and Boyle at least try and carve their way through the field. I'm not too sure on Pelle's speed, actually, to be honest. I'm not sure where he finished last week. But either way, GT2s don't have it their own way this week. The whole bottom half of the table is full of GT2s this week. So all outside of the top 15 apart from Verstappen, Bushek and Sadlowski. So and those three have pretty much been the standout drivers in the GT2 field this series, right? Anyway, so there's no surprise to see them at the top.
Yeah, no, very little surprise at all. They are scrapping over the podium positions between themselves at the minute. We'll just get a quick run down the grid as they make their way over the mountain of death, the mountain that kills, the mountain that bites back. I mean, there's so many analogies. It is an absolutely incredible track. 3.6 miles, 3.8 miles long, sorry, built back in 1938. And only ever been that one change, of course. The chase chicane popped in at the end to stop cars landing in locals' gardens. It hasn't stopped iRacers, of course, jumping over the tyre barriers and cutting out the last corner. If you're going to get a track limit warning, then you might as well make it one to get yourself on the podium in the closest stages of it. Did you see that video, Simon?
I did not. What video is that, mate?
So it was a while ago. It was a few months ago, in fact. Someone on iRacing was, they were about 5th place, coming along the Conrod straight, and instead of turning right to go to the chase, just went in a straight line. Hit the hump, hit the hump, flew over the barrier.
Can't do that anymore now with the updated iRacing physics. Yeah, it stops you in your tracks.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're going to get a penalty, might as well make it one that gets you onto the podium, I suppose, eh?
Exactly.
And that is us back up to the top of the grid, so let's switch that off and switch this on. Here comes Dan Watts along the Conrod.
Hey,
and
let's talk about another elephant in the room.
Go.
Nordschleife has been announced. April the 1st. Couldn't have timed it any better with the final round of this series on April the 10th. The final round being Nordschleife. I cannot wait.
Yep, that will be good. That will be very, very good. And the drivers, I'm sure, will be keen to get as much practice around there as possible.
Well, that's it. They'll have 10 days of scrambling around, won't they, trying to sort themselves out.
They will indeed. We've got 45 minutes scrambling, trying to sort themselves out around this track. As we can see, we've got, actually I can't see it, oh no, yep, so we've got a steady rain around the mountain. It's going to be a fun one.
I'm going to jump off to the steward's box.
Room.
And I will be back, hopefully, with no incidents to report. We'll see.
We'll see. It's Bathurst in the wet. Best of luck, fingers crossed, Simon. We'll see you back here with still a very sharp pencil and plenty of hair in your head. We'll see if the drivers can survive. There's the green lights, his foot down, it's flat out, it's flying into turn number 1 despite the conditions. It's the McLaren going for the move around the outside. Dan Watts mounts the curb on the inside, and it's Van Brough is going to have himself a good old run up the outside of turn number 2. As you can see, Dan Watts got absolutely banged to rights, but is the BMW going to be able to catch the McLaren in a straight line? He's not in the slipstream, and that sounds like Porshikov. Very close indeed. It is indeed Porshikov getting a free car wash here. In fact, he's gone right up the inside. That's for Streb behind the Porshikov, looking to make it 2 in 2 corners for Watts, and it is. It's 2 McLarens making their way through, and here comes the Mercedes as well. Where did that Mercedes come from? Is that Busek? What an absolute flyer. He's got himself off the start. The GT2 is doing all the running off the start. It looks like we've had a couple of incidents down at the back. Let's have a quick look back here. That is into turn number 2. Oh, and both of them almost losing it there. And is there a collection up the hill? Oh yeah, bit of contact there. The Porsche does make a bit of contact with the wall. It slows them up. It almost forces a 3 wide. That is a 3 wide. They all kind of survive almost, as we can see. Van Brough absolutely surviving. He will be singing in the rain as Chris Fielder finds himself up into 8th position. There is Van Brough there in 1st. It's Busek in 2nd. Zelch in 3rd place. Sidlowski in 4th position. As it's all changed over the mountain. I believe that is about to change. Let me just make sure. Verstappen's gone back to the pits. Let's see if we can see Verstappen. Sorry, I'm getting multiple different instances on my telemetry at the minute, so I'm not 100% sure, if I'm being brutally honest, where all the drivers are. According to Sidlowski is in 4th. Where is... Oh, Dan Watts is involved. Oh yeah, all kinds of carnage, and I was looking at the telemetry, so I missed that again. Wow, that is a huge pile. Oh, and there's another 2 cars gone off. That's the Porsche and the McLaren. That's the Porsche and the KTM. So he got collected again. And there's the SOP Porsche. That's Rollins, I believe, down there. Yeah, no way I'm keeping up with all that. Right, Klaus Christensen got collected. Zachev got collected. Chris Fielder got collected. That was James Rollins. He's on his way into the pits. Joe Boyle. I can't actually tell on my screen if he got collected in that or not. He is up 5 positions. He started from the pits. He is eternally grateful that he was not able to set a quality time. Dan Watts is still out on track, limping away, and Van Brough and now finds himself with a big old breakaway. Busek setting the fastest opening lap with a 9/10 deficit to overturn. Zelch 4.5 seconds down the road with Sidlowski well within striking distance. Then it is Watts in 5th, Brackstad in 6th position. Valentino Miri takes the lead in the silvers. With Taylor Brady up to 2nd place. His teammate is massively down the field in the Lexus. For some reason I can't read that because of the glare. Wow, there's been some serious drops there. Christensen back out on track, down 10 positions overall. Pelé starting from the pits along with Boyle. He's up 7 places to 18th place at the minute. Still well down the field in the GT2s, but Rollins and Partez behind them, and Boyle behind them as well. Although Pelé, that's him getting past Christensen there over the mountain. That is not too shabby there at all. Race leader not doing too shabbily either, as we can see him flying along the Conrod Straight. Sorry, that's Samuel Brackstad, the silver leader, is what I was going for there. He is moving very quickly himself. We'll have a look at the rear wing. We can see all that spraying up, and the headlights just suddenly appearing as they come into the braking zone and then disappearing. That is a solid train that Brackstad has got behind him in that Porsche. Valentino Miri no doubt looking to retake the lead in the silvers with Brady. Oh no, sorry, Brackstad. My apologies. I'm just getting screen glare. He's not leading the silvers. It's Valentino Miri. Sorry, my apologies. I've got myself massively overly excited about that massive pile-up on the opening lap. There's quite a few cars that have come into the pits. Partez and Porshikov still in there. Rollins and Zachev back out on track. And there is a couple of cars that we've lost. We're down to 25. Van Bruff. That gap now up to 1.4 seconds, although it does look a little bit closer actually after that straight. Busek definitely closing in that Mercedes GT2. Lewis Zelch in third place. Second in class, Dan Watts making his way past Paulson Lofsky as Brackstad and Valentino Miri still close. Brady, as we can see him following Valentino Miri up the mountain. Christian Romano up to 10th place. Now, where did he start actually? Wow. Yeah, he started in the pits as well, so Romano has gone full ninja. And he's made up 14 positions overall. He will be ecstatic. And that's put him onto the podium, in fact. That has put him onto the podium. Wow. What a drive by Romano. Well, there you go. He didn't have the best of luck last week. It certainly ironed itself out ever so slightly this week, it's safe to say. That is, yeah, quite the move through the field. I'll be keeping an eye on his progress at the start and the highlights at the end. Matthew Miziak closing in on Toman. There's only 3:10 separating them as they head on to the Cornrod Straight. We'll see if he can get close enough to make a move. The rain is absolutely piling down. That track is not going to be getting much drier anytime soon. Busek still holding the fastest lap. Something's just changed there. Is Brady making a move? Let's have a look and see. Sadlowski, Zelch is up positions. Oh, Zelch has come into the pits, sorry. So that's what's happened there. Zelch has come into the pits to take his mandatory stop. So he's going to get that out of the way. That's going to tumble him down the order. Busek still in second place. It gives Dan Watts now 7 seconds to make up to Busek ahead, but no one in between them. Brady wasn't able to make that move stick as Romano moves up to 9th place overall. Nelson Pinto sitting in 11th place at the minute, 5th position, so he's made up a few spots himself as well in the silvers. Started in 8th place, so up 6 places overall and up 3 places in class, so a good start from him. Christensen still out on track, but now behind the whole gaggle of GT2s. Porskov is still in the pit. Zelch still taking his mandatory. There is a mandatory tyre swap for the race as well. Samin Sluice, good evening. Yeah, but absolutely, yeah, good luck needed all round. You can't. Talent will only get you so far in these conditions. You definitely need the rub of the green, as they say. Let's have a look. Which is the one I'm looking for? That one. Heading down the mountain on board the Porsche of Taylor Brady, looking to take the lead in the silver class. That's class leader just ahead of him in front of that spray. You can see just how much standing water there is on the track with the clouds that are coming up out of the back of that McLaren. It's going to be nigh on impossible. Let's have a look. This is what it looks like from on board. Full commitment into the chase as well. Heavy on the brakes for the both of them. They can see the clouds kicking up ahead. Valentino Miri does have Brackstad very close to him. We've got some kind of white flag with Busek. No, all good. Yeah, got a bit of a warning there on Busek's name. There is Romano coming in for the pits as well. Now, he is a solid tactician, is Mr. Romano. So yeah, Uber undercut is on the way. Kudras clips, I wouldn't wish for these conditions for my worst enemies. Good luck out there. Good morning, Kane, how are you? This is very reminiscent. Remember, was it last year's race we watched? And yeah, they were sailing paper boats down the pit lane with the amount of water. It's yeah, it's certainly reminiscent of those conditions. You can see the splitter on the Merc isn't really that great, is it? There we go. Let's get Dan Watt's splitter on the BMW and get a look at just what's going on there, and the new rear wing cam that we've got as well. Absolute clouds out the back of there. In fact, for any Porsche fans, that is Samuel Brackstad, currently on the podium in the GT3 Pros. Valentino, Miri and Brady very close behind indeed. As you can see, the McLaren and Brady in the other Porsche. Oh, they really are closing in. Romano is back out of the pits. He is the lead car to have taken his pits at the moment. So he's got himself ahead of Zelch. Wow, that is going to be some huge positions gained so far. Malchirek having a great race as well. That slipped slightly under my radar. We'll have had a few pit stops. We've lost another driver or two as well, unfortunately.
Hello, John. We're back.
Hello, Simon.
Well. That was carnage.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I didn't, yeah, but no, that didn't look like fun. I actually looked away at the vital moment. I was looking at the telemetry to see, and I put the replay on, and as I looked back, I saw a KTM, an honest KTM, Verstappen and Dan Watson, the green BMW, facing in directions you wouldn't want to be facing in at those particular parts of the track. There was quite a few cars facing the wrong way, so yeah, was there anyone massively at fault, or was it just a wet Bathurst racing incident?
Well, the whole sequence of events was started by Porsche in the 696 McLaren. He was coming up over the mountain, he tagged the wall, and then that resulted in him sliding onto some grass, and from there it was a no-go. He ended up spinning across the track. Dan Watts ended up hitting him, and then that's when you saw everybody else. Basically, it was 10-pin bowling after that, right? Everybody was just taken out from that little sequence, with everybody checking up, everybody hitting each other, nowhere to go.
Yeah, there's no place to hide at Bathurst. I think is a safe assessment.
There was no escaping any of it from anybody who was behind Porsche, basically. Apart from, pretty much it only seemed at the time, Christian Romano. He got hit in the side, but that pretty much saved him, and he was able to get through it. Everybody else behind that was, yeah, a sitting duck in a horrible incident that, yes, okay, the blame is on Porsche, but it's not really anybody's fault. He ended up just losing the car by himself. There wasn't like anybody crashing into each other.
Yeah, he didn't go for a crazy move or an overtake or a lunge or a send. He just, tapped the wall, touched the grass, and yeah, we don't even need to finish that sentence, really. We're all sim racers here. You tapped the wall and touched the grass at a wet Bathurst.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're just praying that your thumbs don't get dislocated by your direct drive wheeling.
And that's why we've already lost 5 drivers, or something like that, isn't it?
6, 7.
6 drivers.
Yep.
7 drivers.
7. Yeah, there's a few of them that were that no, like Klaus Christensen, one of them. Yeah, can't believe his luck. Fallback GT2. Oh, the steering got bent. Yeah, got pole position in class as well.
Again, so yeah, the Lexus 76. Klaus Christensen. That incident was sort of a driver error, like a rear error on Klaus's fault, or maybe it was just like the ACC physics. But coming around turn 1, he literally, and I mean it was like the slightest of brushes into the side of someone's door, and it just sent him spinning around. It wasn't really an incident. It just, that's how ACC's contact physics are. He brushed the wing mirror, and it sent him round at the start, so he was out of it straight away. Out of it from turn 2. It looks like he's retired, so he must have got caught up then at the top of the hill as well.
Yeah, he did, that's what he's saying. Yeah, he got caught by a GT2 on the way up the hill. And his steering ended up bent and out of shape. Yeah, the contact model was being... Yeah, the... yeah, I know it sounds like a weird one, but yeah, we should actually consider ourselves fortunate at this point in time, because the last update on ACC on console, any contact with the wall or the barrier, you were disqualified from the race, and ghosting was intermittently on, because the rest of the time it was off. So, yeah, but the netcode is definitely something that needs to get sorted out big time. And the contact model in some of these games. iRacing's got its netcode issues, and the ACC's definitely still got its contact physics. At least now we can get on the curbs. That is the one thing they've managed to kind of get right these days. I think with the grease Simon, you can at least interact with the curbs a bit more realistically if the contact physics itself with the cars isn't quite, not quite on point.
Yeah, I mean, even with iRacing, they've updated their curb model as well, right? So
yeah,
they've actually introduced 3D curbs for their new Season 2 build, along with their wet weather system. I'm yet to try out the wet weather system. They said, you know, it's the best weather system in the whole of sim racing, so we'll soon find out.
Yeah, actually, Kane's in the chat. He's tried it. Kane, give us an assessment. He has certainly tried both. Quick assessment of the race. It's all in the hands of Van Bruff. Up at the front, he has got the GT3 Pro lead firmly in his hands. Busek leading the way in the GT2s. They've still got the pit stop to take. Dan Watts in third, so he's certainly managing that damage fairly magnificently. Sidlowski in second in the GT2s, fourth overall. Brackstad in third, and it's still Valentino Mini leading the way in the GT3 Silvers, with Brady in second and Guertz in third place at the moment. We've then got a gaggle of GT3 cars, GT2 cars, sorry, Malcherek, Monroe and Taman. Monroe not long making his way past Taman, and he's really caught up to the back of Malcherek as well. So Malcherek is going to have to be on his toes in the KTM for the next few laps. Good little battle with the KTMs here. 5 of them.
I tell you what, John, you know they say wet weather is a great leveler, right? Yeah, it brings out the driver's skill. Luca Monroe must be beaming ear to ear right now as he's chasing down the podium spots here in GT2s. He hasn't quite had the pace in the dry over some of the other guys, but he's going to be ecstatic that he is almost in touch and distance of a podium position here in the GT2s. I mean, there's still Romano, Marushek and Rawlins who have pitted in the GT2, so I'm not sure where they actually currently stand.
Well, Romano's on a flyer, and I think he might be... He's looking good for a race win, like at least a podium. At least a bare minimum podium.
Okay.
Because
we'll
Zaitsev was running, yeah, well inside the top 10. Yeah, Romano was ninth overall when he came into the pits.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, and he got back out, like I say, ahead of Zaitsev. So, yeah, and the undercut looks like it's done him well. I think he was maybe hoping to avoid traffic. He has. In fact,
probably a sensible move in this type of race, right? Just be out there by yourself. You're not going to collect anybody if they lose their car. You can just put some solid lap times down. And yeah, maybe Romano pops out in the lead of the GT2s after everybody else has pitted. If it's the same as last week, we're approaching that halfway point in the race where everybody could be coming into the pits. But maybe some drivers are going to be trying something different here in this wet weather, because fuel doesn't play as big as part in these types of conditions, right? So maybe drivers have put a full tank in. It's less fuel that they need to put in the tank, obviously, compared to dry running here, because they're 10 to 15 seconds a lap slower. So we might see drivers actually going all the way until maybe the last lap or two before they pit. Yeah, make their final stop.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Well, just as you say that, we see quite a few. Morton Buren is still in the pits. Although I think he's back in the pits because it's green and he's 2 laps down. So he's back in. Monroe and Toman in the pits. Yeah, pretty much on the halfway mark. Christensen said, iRacing wet is great. The spray is too much like a wall, to be fair. I have watched Gixxer, Chris Williams play it, and yeah, the spray is crazy. Should be a bit more transparent. Rain lights can't be seen either. Yes, apparently there is a patch coming for that. Puddles appear in weird places, but with all that said, the rain feels amazing. Small improvements, it will be best in class. Yeah, I did hear that the yeah, one of the things Baz was saying, the fact that the track will dry out completely different in different places. You could have rain at one part, and it really has got that absolutely dialed in apparently. So yeah, we'll see how it develops. Yeah, who can bring you the best 24-hour Nordslife race?
Yeah, that's all we're going to see on ACC from April.
Don't I just know it? 177 corner names coming up. Not quite 177 pit stops, we're certainly firing through them though. Christian Romano out in the lead. Let's see how close he is to Dan Watts, who comes in from third place to take his mandatory stop. Sidlowski stays out to maintain second in the GT2s. Braxton and Valentino Miri crossing the line, still hunted down by Brady. Quertz is behind him as well. Nelson Pinto, having a slight touch of the off track there through the chicane, does decide to pull into the pits as well. Luca Monroe.
Almost.
Oh, did he almost?
Almost missed the pits then.
Oh, it's so easily done. I mean, yeah, 3.8 miles long, up and down a mountain with solid concrete walls either side, and we'll pop a double chicane in the pit entrance. Yep. Only in Australia, folks.
I don't think the practice servers have been this wet. If I'm being honest, I don't think any driver has got a proper wet setup on here for this type of weather. I think the practice servers have had a bit of minor wet weather, medium wet weather, but nothing this wet all week, I don't think. So it's catching a lot of the field out. It has to be said, we've had a lot of casualties. Those that are still racing are finding the walls quite a lot. We've seen a lot of yellow flags, a lot of drivers facing the wrong way still, even though they're still out there racing. So it's pretty much survival of the fittest right now. Those that can survive the mountain will be there at the end at the podium.
Indeed, they will. Let's see, look at Monroe. Yeah, he's having a good race actually. He's coming in for a good position. Romano, there we go. Pele is into the pits as well, so he's going to go past there as well. Romano.
So Romano's 10 seconds behind Dan Watts.
And Watts just came in from overall third.
Yes. So wow. He should still be behind Bushak. He could potentially be ahead of Sadlowski. They're both into the pits now, so the top 3, top 5 overall, top 6 overall into the pits on this lap. We'll see where they filter back out in about 30 seconds time.
Oh, there's even more cars coming at the pits. Here comes silver leader Valentino Miri making his way into the pits as well. Where is he on my board? There he is. Oh, another elite racing team driver. Right, okay, I saw it on my poll. I didn't realise that Dane drove for the same team as Taylor and Klaus. But yeah, coming in from the lead of the silvers. So yeah, that's his teammate there. Behind him, Van Bruff, as you can see, has stayed out. Malcharek as well. Busek is back out of the pits. Sidlowski is on his way back out. There is Dan Watts Seeing he's in 9th now, let's get on some helicams so we can figure out exactly where he is, because I can't see that on that track map. Wow, that is absolutely pitch black. Yeah, no more night races. Banned.
Well, Romano is hunting down Sadlowski. Sadlowski's just popped out in front of him from the pits there. So it's going to be a battle of if Romano's got those tyres still alive and if Sadlowski can keep those tyres up fast enough, because there are no tyre warmers on these GT2s. Not that it really matters in these types of conditions, but Romano is closing rapidly whilst Sadlowski is trying to adjust on these cold tyres in the wet weather that has not eased up in the slightest at all this race. So this is going to be a fantastic battle for P2 overall in the GT2s.
Yeah, we are going to see, yeah. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be interesting to see what the Mercedes can do on the, yeah, trying to warm up his tyres in these conditions along the corner straight. We've seen what the Mercedes can do in a straight line. What can Romano bring in the Audi? Wow. Not much there. You can see from spoiler cam, the Mercedes just says goodbye. Tell you what, in the king of the straight line cars, yeah, that Mercedes is right up there. Look at that. It's almost like a GT, yeah, not quite a 2, but 3 via 4, but yeah, pretty close there. The Mercedes so much quicker on a straight line. There's Guertz into the pits, Malcherek's in as well. Van Bruff. Did Van Bruff not come into the pits?
Van Bruff is still not in the pits, no. He is the net race leader at this stage. And watch where
He did come into the pits. He's been in. He did. He came in. Yep, there we go. There's a replay. He came in, he's not met his requirements.
Interesting. I wonder what he hasn't changed there.
Yeah, he did. I knew he did. He came in at exactly the same time as Busek.
I'm annoyed that I haven't got pit wall live running now. I don't know if you can see how long they were in the pits compared to everybody else. Probably can't without pit wall, can you?
Give me 2 seconds. I can figure this one out.
Well, we'll see now if he's up and down in a matter of seconds. We know
24 seconds. Same as everyone else. 24, 24, 25. Got a couple of drivers. 27 seconds. Oh, wait. My apologies. Let me. Pit entry 23, 27. 24, 12.
Oh, into the wall goes Busek. He slammed into the side of that wall then, John. He is being chased down by Dan Watts right now. He's going to have damage on board that Mercedes. He's sliding everywhere. He has lost it. Oh, he's still going.
Yeah, he's hanging on. Yeah, we've got a replay on there. Yeah, his car, he was missed the down through Skyline. Took the escape patch. Yeah, so sorry, I figured out. Pit entry 23:27, 23 minutes and 27 seconds into the race. He came into the pits and he exited at 24 minutes and 12 seconds. So that is 40 odd seconds.
Right, okay.
So, and yeah, whatever it is, he's come back in. And that is, yeah, car 87 back in the pits. So something has gone awry, and that is going to cost Van Bruff a race win. Dan Watts. I said this at the start of the race. In conditions like this, talent will only take you so far in these conditions. a bit of luck will go an absolute long way. Dan Watt's luck looked like it ran out in the opening lap when he was an innocent bystander after another driver touched the wall of the grass, and then most of the rest of the field. Watts picked up a bit of damage, but he's stuck with it, and he's going for the overall race win as well, as Busek seems to be floundering over the mountain. Now, obviously, the GT2s are going to be better in the straight line. We saw it was a GT3 that did take the purple sector 2 in qualifying, and it was this man, Dan Watts, that did so. So he's been handed the GT3 Pro race lead, and he is now, Simon, going for the overall race win. He really doesn't want to see anyone else win a race, even if it's going to be the inaugural GT2 winning a race. Watts won't be having any of that. He's been handed the race lead in the GT3s after a mistake by his competitor. He's not going to turn this one down, is he?
Well, I did say this could be the round that we see a GT2 finally win a round. Busek's trying his best to hold on. I don't think he will be able to hold off Dan Watts, especially if he clips a few too many walls like he did the previous lap. 14 minutes still to go though, so plenty of time to make things happen. Half a second is the gap. The Mercedes should just pull a couple of miles away from the BMW right now, but then going back over the mountain, the BMW will close up, and we saw how sketchy that Mercedes was the previous lap. So I reckon we ride on board with Busek for this lap over the mountain to see how he is coping, and we'll see how close Dan Watts can get by the end of this lap.
Any particular onboard camera, Simon? Would you want bonnet, helmet cam, or will we do the side wing cam?
Yeah, go for it. We'll do a side.
Yeah,
We'll see.
like that.
We'll see what's going on.
Indeed, we will, yeah.
He did almost lose it again. He is sliding that Mercedes GT2 around like there's not a wall next to him.
I suppose that is the best way to do it, eh? Just tell yourself there is no wall, or just tell himself there is no Watts, because Watts could not be closer. He's that close, we can't even see his headlights most of the time. The head down through the cutting, the Mercedes right in the dip of that corner there, head down into Forest Elbow, which needs to change names. That and Hell's Corner need to swap, because Hell's Corner is a doddle compared to Forest Elbow. Let's face it, let's see what happens along, let's see what happens along a straight piece of tarmac. Bye Mercedes.
Yeah, it is a case of a cat and mouse right now, isn't it? If Dan Watts can't get past him on the mountain, he's not going to get past him on one of these straights, unless Busek makes a mistake. We know Dan Watts doesn't really make mistakes. They do come, but not very often. He's got the fastest lap. He has closed that gap, and he's gunning for this race win. But I would love to see a GT2 pick up an overall victory. Let's not beat around the bush. And if it's going to be any GT2, we know how fast the Mercedes GT2 is in a straight line. So they do have some advantage here anyway.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah, the straight line advantage is absolutely incredible. And it just goes to show you how quick Watts is over the mountain. I mean, we can see how much the Mercedes is pulling away. He's right in the braking, right there in the braking zone when they get close. Although now that we're getting a few laps since Watts has come back out the pits, the gap does seem to be increasing ever so slightly lap on lap. Kane was in the chat. Did I already read this one out from Kane saying that yeah, the rain was great on iRacing, as Klaus said, a few improvements and it'll stand alone. I only gave it a go on the Nordschleife, so didn't get the drying line. Right, okay, so he hasn't experienced the evolving...
Dan Watts in the wall, sorry. Dan Watts in the wall.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bump.
Getting treacherous out there for these guys now.
It really is. Let's go for Forbidden Chase Cam. So yeah, we were worried about the grip. Oh, the Mercedes ahead having a bit of a wiggle as well on the exit. Up over the mountain. Oh, just that little bit far on the right, and then oh Yeah, so that was in stages there. I bet Watts saw that in slow motion. It started going wrong at one of the apexes. He managed to correct that ever so slightly, but not enough to keep it out of the wall. That is going to give Busek another run away with it. Along the straight, yep, that gap is ever increasing. Christian Romano is up into third position, 1.1 seconds down on Paul Sidlowski at the moment. Romano up 20 positions overall, which is not too bad.
He is the highest climber on today's grid, because Joe Boyle is no longer with us, and Pele's down in 18th. So yeah, almost a last to first type of challenge there from Romano.
Yeah.
A big beneficiary with that lap 1 incident that caught so many drivers out. But it looked like he did have the pace in practice as well anyway. I'm not sure why he didn't set a lap in qualifying. But, you know, the gods answered him and saved the day for him anyway. So he's up there on the podium in the GT2s. I'm not far away from the overall podium of the entire race either.
Yeah, no, not too far away at all. He's certainly going to be giving Sidlowski pause for thought. Let's get a front-facing camera. There we go. As the BMW still chases the Mercedes up and over the hill. As you were saying, Pele back down in 18th, but he's still up 7 positions overall himself. Oh, Watts wary of the walls on the right hand side. The Mercedes almost learning the lesson the hard way, like Watts did, and Watts again over the mountain gets so close to the back of that Mercedes, and we're just going to watch him disappear off into the distance as soon as they get out of Forest Elbow and onto the straight. Even in the slipstream, the BMW just has absolutely no answer for that Mercedes in a straight line, even with what could be described as a wonky exit there by Busek. The car taking a couple of twists and turns on the exit there. Just absolute, it's a different sport at this point, Simon. The pace difference between that Mercedes and everything else in it, it's just insane. And it must be terrible in the corner. I mean, Watts is world class, but given how much he's managing to get away on the straights, the amount of time therefore he must be losing over the mountain is incredible. But yeah, the Mercedes, it really is just all conquering. As soon as we get over half mile on a straight, that's it. This car's in pole position.
Yeah, I mean, any other circuit and the BMW would be able to make a move on the Mercedes, right? If the fact that there's walls either side of Dan Watts stopping him trying to make a move over the mountain. If he could get in front, I think he would be able to keep it, because he's having to slow so much over the mountain when he gets up to the back of that Mercedes that he's then losing time, right? So if he was able to get in front of that Mercedes before they start the incline up the mountain, he would probably be able to pull a second over the mountain on that Mercedes at least. And then I don't think the Mercedes would be able to claw that second back down the back straight there. So yeah, we'll see if Dan Watts can get close enough, or if Busek makes a mistake and he can find a way through. But it's fantastic to watch these two push each other to the very limits. They both hit the wall. They've both missed their braking points, and Dan Watts is the closest he's ever been. We're going to have to watch this one, see if he can make a move up the inside at the bottom of Forest Elbow. I think there's going to be that one opportunity there to try and outbrake the Mercedes, but you've got to be careful in these wet conditions.
Yeah, you really
right
do.
On that bumper, trying to get a good exit. Oh, he's in the wall! He is in the wall! And that is the run for the overall lead over, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Just pushing. Yeah, nobody. If anybody was thinking of themselves, these two are just taking it easy. No, Simon's right. They are pushing one another to the end with the pace that Busek is showing. Watts pushing himself and just pushing that a little bit too hard. Comes out with Forest Elbow, bit keen on the loud pedal and that. And that just goes to show you how easy it is. One innocuous touch of the wall and a tap of on the grass, tap of the wheel on the grass, and the car completely uncontrollable. He, yeah, could almost be considered lucky the way he hit the wall there. Kind of straightened them back out again after we saw what happened on lap number 1. So easy for that to happen. We've got 5 minutes left to go. Christian Romano is in sight of overall 3rd place and 2nd in his class. That would be a remarkable 21 positions as he goes past the back marker. He has got Sedlowski now well within a second. That's 0.3 of a second he's made up over the last 7 minutes. So he could potentially get to within half a second. Will that be close enough to use the slipstream? Probably not, because he's chasing a Mercedes. He knows that he needs to be absolutely perfect over the mountain for the closing 5 minutes if he's going to stand a chance at getting past Sedlowski. That would be an absolutely incredible drive for Christian if he could pull this one off.
I'll tell you what, John, don't sleep on Romano and Sedlowski. I reckon those two are going to be able to catch Dan Watts before the end of this race. Dan Watts is bleeding time like no tomorrow right now because of that incident. He's already 5 seconds down on Bushek, and Sedlowski is closing. I think Sedlowski is closing a sector right now. So it's not going to be long. I think there's two, maybe 3 more laps after this one. And yeah, we're going to see a gigantic battle for 2nd place between Watts, Sedlowski and Romano.
Oh yeah, wow. Just looking at Dan Watts' sector times there. He's 3 seconds off his own pace in sector 3, so the corner straight, yep, and that's it down to under 4 seconds. Wow, so Sedlowski could, Romano could get himself on the podium and still finish behind Sedlowski.
Yeah.
But that would only get him 1 podium. He needs, so he's on the GT2 podium anyway, so if he's going to get the overall podium, he can get past Watts, and he's still got Sedlowski there that he's hunting down for 2nd place. Wow. Well, there you go. It took him 7 minutes to close 7/10. It's taken him 2 minutes to close another 2 of those, so he's well within that half a second that I predicted he would be on the last lap. So really is giving Sedlowski something to think about as we look out the back of the Mercedes. Let's see how the Audi does. Fares a little bit better than the BMW. Of course, the Audi that Romano's in at least is in the same GT2 class. Dan Watts completely outgunned by the GT2 in that straight line. Oh, now was that a bit lively there by Romano? Let's have a quick look from helmet cam and see. Now, I can't tell if that was Sedlowski taking an overly cautious line or Romano just costing himself a bit of time there. Let's see. Oh no, he's just set up. Wow, on that previous... Oh no, he's got the purple sectors at the minute, sorry. That's his potential lap, but yeah, wow. Oh, yeah, didn't get a good quarry bend there at all. And he has just set a very quick lap as well. He's actually got 2... Has he got the same time? Has he set the same time as Dan Watts?
No, Dan Watts fastest lap 206.4, Romano's fastest lap 207.1.
Right, okay.
4 tenths faster than Sedlowski in 2nd place, and 2 tenths faster than the leader. So Romano is shifting something like we wouldn't believe in that Audi. He is trying to get past that Mercedes, but doesn't matter if you're in a GT2 or GT3, it seems that nothing can get past these Mercedes in a straight line.
Yeah, no, you have to work absolute miracles over the mountain just to be in with a wing and a prayer getting past the Mercs.
Here we go,
final lap.
Yep.
Busek just making his way past Rollins, the Maserati that was caught. I know I declared that a Porsche earlier, but it was dark and there was a lot going on. But Rollins in the Maserati was caught up in it. He's still running in 6th position in the GT2s, but he has just been lapped by the overall race leader and GT2 leader. It is Ignacy Busek who will continue his charge at the top. And Verstappen not finishing this one. So maximum points haul for Busek. Oh, will there be more points for Sedlowski? The mountain straight hasn't managed to separate them as much as I'm sure Sedlowski would have liked in this situation. Romano still hunting him down. You can see from the front split. Oh, and he's hit the wall.
Oh!
Watts and Romano both falling foul of the same thing, looking for that podium improvement in the closing stages, and all they found is a clip in the wall. And imagine Romano's heart is currently in his mouth. He will be so grateful he's got a 10-second gap to the car behind. Coming down the mountain, I'm sure he'll be grateful he's still got that podium. Not going to get an overall podium, but he will get a GT2 podium, so a great drive nonetheless. Ignacy Butek is just coming out of Forest Elbow and onto the Conrod Straight. It does say Romano's within 2 tenths. In fact,
he has closed right back up, John.
He has indeed. And this is where the heart breaks once again. As we say goodbye to the Mercedes.
Yeah, unless
Not even a contest.
Unless Sedlowski makes a mistake now in these final 3 turns. There is a yellow flag being waved. Who is that? Who is that off? Oh, it was a Porsche pulled over. I thought it was one of the leaders then.
Oh. Don't do that to me. There we go, Ignacy Butek in the... We got it, Simon! We got a GT2 winner. Dan Watts did hold on to the hemorrhaging BMW and hold on to second place and the fastest lap. That's given him, of course, first in the GT3 Pros. Paul Sedlowski brings it home in second place in that Merc. And Christian Romano up 20 positions overall to bring home a podium in the GT2s and 4th place overall. Brakstad finds himself in second in the Pros, and after multiple trips into the pits, it will be Julian Van Bruff finishing on the pit. Oh, unless he makes a massive meal of the final corner and gets overtaken, he's brought home a penalty as well.
I'll clear that. It's because he didn't see his pit stop.
Yeah, he did come into the pits twice, so not sure what's going on there, but that is Guertz across the line as well. Second place in the Silvers. Or I'm sorry, the Silvers barely got any attention there at all. Nelson Pinto is going to cross the line in the BMW. Third place in the GT3 Silver. So great drive there, Butek. All into the pits. More drivers crossing the line. Matthew Miziak still heading over the mountain. Mruzek, sorry. 18th place overall, bringing up the rear of the field, but it is not the camera we want. There is the fireworks, and there is the overall race winner, Ignacy Butek. Dan Watts, of course, bringing home the win in the GT3 Pros, and Valentino Miri is no longer in the server, so we can't jump him on screen. Let's get Paul Sedlowski on there. Great drive by him. Quite a few of the drivers have popped out. We'll wait on the rest of them to cross the line, and then we'll grab the highlights and the final results. Perfect. Oops. As everything decides to quickly freeze. Excellent. So we'll grab that. We'll grab that. Wow, look at the difference in the lighting conditions. That's when the race started, and here's how it finished. Yeah, crazy times. In the GT3s, Brady finishing in first. Guertz in second, Pinto in third, Valentino Miri down to 4th place. I shouldn't have pushed that button, my apologies. That's going to stick for a second. Just want to see if I can see an accident with Valentino Miri.
Yes, so in this race we lost Zalch, Christensen, Boyle, Porshakov, Partes and Verstappen. The Burin finished in 20th, 3 laps down. Mruzek was 2 laps down, and then everybody else was 1 lap down up until P12. So quite the showing from that top 10, and they didn't have it easy themselves either. A lot of those met a wall along their way to their finishing positions. Some good results up and down the field here, John. To be fair, it's definitely sprung a surprise in the championship.
Yeah, it really has. It really is. Bathurst, it is the great leveller, but then so is the rain. So yeah, a double levelling of the playing field before we move on. We've got on to next week. Sorry, we've got the quick run through the results. Of course, Brady Guertz Pinto on the podium in the silvers. Valentino Mirian fourth fielder, and Zachev fifth and sixth. Buren in seventh. Christensen not making it to the end of the race in the GT2s. Busek, Sidlowski, and we've just missed him there. My apologies. But you can get the results, of course, on SimGrid. I'm not even going to cover this up so it stops flickering. We'll just go straight into... Oh no, it's going to do it anyway. Excellent, excellent, excellent. But yeah, we'll pop on the highlights, of which I imagine there will be quite a few. And yeah, remember, you can, of course, catch all of the action on SimGrid and in Discord as well. Jump on to the SimGrid host page and you can get a link to the Discord there. Hopefully that is running. There we go. And yeah, you can keep up to date with all the action there. We'll be back next week. In fact, we're back on Sunday, Simon, for more iRacing antics, more multi-class racing. Been a good season so far, and this Sunday's race should be not too bad as well.
Yes, it will. Yeah. I'm here. Sorry, I was waiting for you to finish there, mate.
Oh, so
that's right. Yeah, where are we heading to? Let me check. I can't remember myself.
Spa. 60 minutes at Spa.
Oh, right, we're going back to Spa. Okay. You love a bit of Spa. You love a bit of Spa.
Spa. Absolutely love it.
Yes, 3 rounds remain in Spa, Francorchamps, Mugello and Le Mans. One of the remaining 3 rounds will be utilising the new wet weather in iRacing, so the drivers better get used to it quickly.
Ooh, nice. You heard it here first. Wet weather is coming to the Road to Le Mans Season 2. We've got Spa, Mugello, and of course the 90 minutes at Le Mans itself. It seems only fitting we'll have rain at Le Mans, 100 million %. Wasn't Spa last week?
Yes, for ACC.
For ACC. Look, sorry, yeah, we're talking about iRacing on Sunday. We've got the Road to Le Mans. Yeah, it is indeed, yes.
Road to a wet Le Mans.
Road to a wet Le Mans, yes. Love to hear it, love to hear it. Road to a wet Northlife as well, hopefully, at the end of this season. Because, as Simon said at the top of the show, we've got the release of the Northlife on ACC. It will be out on the 1st of April. Thankfully, it wasn't announced on the 1st of April, so it's definitely not an April Fool's joke, but it will be announced. Will be released on the 1st of April, so plenty of time. A whole 9 days, so you'll be able to get involved. So we'll have it for the final race of the season. We did have a stand-in, but that will not be called for, thankfully. So yeah, Northlife, make sure you set your calendars for both on and off the track. April the 10th, that one will be. I'm still trying to figure out if I was 3rd or 4th in the GT2s. Not 100% sure, to be honest. Look at the results that disappeared, but keep a close eye on SimGrid.
I think Luca finished P4.
Oh, P4. Yeah, there was a bit of a bump there. So yeah, P4, Luca. But good race. It's an ill wind that blows nobody some good. Quite a few drivers, making their way through. Klaus Christian Romano, what a move up the field he made. We'll leave you with the highlights, but that's all from Simon and myself this evening. As I say, we'll be back on Twitch on Sunday night for the Road to Le Mans Season 2, and we'll be back on YouTube same time next week for Monza. There really is no let up, is there? A wet night race at Bathurst, followed up by a race at Monza. Absolutely love it. We've got Valencia, the Circuit of the Americas, and then the Northlife, of course. So make sure you set your calendars, hit that notification bell, and we will see you all again on Sunday night and then next week. But until then, it is a good night from Simon.
A good night from Simon.
And it's a good night from me. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.